Let's quickly break down a fast lighting setup for those who are too lazy or if you're in a hurry and you need a quick result. So we'll be imitating a dramatic contrasting lighting like in this reference. Let's get started right away. Here we have a living room scene. It has a clay material assigned as override material. The window glass is excluded from override, background also excluded. And so let's just create Corona light real quick. It's a rectangle type. I'm just gonna put it outside the window. Then I check targeted option, direct the light inside the interior, and I'm gonna make it about 45 degrees. Pick an angle that works for you. Now, for the size, let's make our light long and narrow. A narrow light gives a more contrasting light. Also, we go to the render settings and disable fast preview denoise. Just makes it better. So we already have some light in our scene. Now we need to set up brightness. Let's leave it as it is for now. And next we need to set up directionality. It's currently at 0. Let's make it 0.5. Now we have more light illuminating our interior. But we need to decrease the brightness a little bit. See? Now we've got light shining on the floor. And to make it colder, we can switch to kelvins. Set it to 7,000. That'll do, I think. Or we can switch back to direct input. So to achieve a more interesting light shadow pattern, we need to add a Corona sun. And so let's go back to default settings. And we'll direct the sun at an angle to the camera and onto the opposite wall. And so now our sun shines through the window and it reaches deep inside the interior. We can make it a bit blurrier. We'll set the size of our sun to 64. That's maximum value. Then change intensity to 0.1 or 0.2. And that's it. It only took us about a couple of minutes to set up lighting in this scene. If you need to adjust contrast, use Corona Sun. First, you need to disable all these options, then the size. If you make the sun smaller, the shadows will become sharper, but in that case, you'll have to increase brightness. You can also adjust directionality, but I wouldn't recommend going below 0.5. You can go for 0.3 or 0.4 to achieve a softer light. In this case, we need to dramatically increase brightness. Or we can raise exposure. Something like this. Also, we might need to decrease intensity to 0.1. Okay, that's it. It's done. In this short video, we're going to learn a super fast lighting setup scheme in Vray. It's an ideal method for those who don't want to spend time setting up Vray Sky. So it's a very quick way to set up lighting using fake lights. Let's take a look how it's done. Okay, so first we create a Vray light outside the interior. And so it's a plane, a simple plane, and we also enable the targeted option. And we go ahead and direct the light inside the interior. So what we do next, we put our plane at an angle. And in our case, we have a dark gray material set up as the override material in order to imitate a dark colored interior. So we already have some light coming from the window. So let's make it more We can make it more artistic, more visually complex. So for example, we can give it a certain direction like this, or we can adjust its hardness by changing its width and length. So first of all, let's make it narrow and kind of long. And now, seeing that we have two windows here, a long and narrow plane is just what we need. Okay, so we've got this hard light, and if we raise the light higher, we direct more light beneath the window. To direct more light inside the interior, we need to lower our V-Ray light like this. So we're beginning to have some shadows in our interior, as you can see. And to set up the shadows, we'll use a parameter called directionality. Let's increase it to 0.4. And now our interior is getting more light. We need to adjust its brightness. Let's move our light closer to the window. And then we'll increase its size to make its light softer. At the same time, we decrease brightness to 10. Actually, let's make it 5. So what we want is, we want a softer light. The light in the references is harder, but we'll achieve that effect with V-Ray Sun. So we'll have two light sources in our scene. In the top view, we'll create V-Ray Sun, directed onto the wall opposite to the camera. And now we simply need to adjust its intensity. But as you can see, there's no sunlight in our interior. Well, that's because our V-Ray light is visible. And what we'll do is we'll make it invisible. And now we can finally see the sunlight. And now we'll direct the beams inside the interior. So this is not the effect we wanted. We need a sun that's big, soft, and almost colorless. So we're gonna only adjust the brightness of the floor. We'll switch the sun to the override color mode. The filter color as white. Next, size multiplier 32 to achieve a blurry light. And then decrease intensity tenfold. Let's make it 0.1. And finally, we'll direct the light onto the floor. We'll raise it a little bit higher to make the shadows more pronounced. As you can see now, the floor is getting more light. We have a shadow from the table. I placed the table here on purpose, by the way. So that's a fast lighting setup schema in V-Ray. The cool thing about it is that it's rendering very fast. It doesn't look as smooth and beautiful as lighting achieved through Sun Sky system, but it's still a good to go method.